Hi, I'm Veronica Odeka. Welcome to Beauty and Fashion Talks here on Arise News. Join me as we chat about the latest in fashion news and beauty. Be sure to keep up with us as we stay on top of trends and key players in the industry within Africa and around the world. The runway is set for Arise Fashion Week, which kicks off today at Continental Hotel. Now, besides the 45 designers from 14 countries showcasing, it will be all about the models. The show will be headlined by British supermodel Naomi Campbell, and of course, international models will be strutting down the catwalk. Joining me on today's show to talk about the crucial role models play in international fashion weeks all over the world is Bolajo Fawemi, founder of Few Models. Don't go anywhere, because Fashion and Beauty Talks will be right back. Welcome back to Fashion and Beauty Talks on Arise News. I'm Veronica Odeka. My guest, Bolajo Fawemi, is a former model and founder of Few Model Management. In the past 3 years, Bolajo has rewritten the script for Nigerian models, scouting, training, and giving them the international exposure. Today, several Nigerian models are walking the globe boldly and unapologetically, taking no prisoners, matching international models brand for brand, thanks to Few Models platform. We're heading for a short break, but there will be more right after this. Welcome back to Arise Fashion and Beauty with Bolajo Fawemi. Welcome to the show, Bolajo. How are you? It's so good to have you in here. Now, we read all about you, and of course, your experience in the fashion industry is diverse. Obviously, you've been a model, and then now you are heading one of the strongest model managements out of Africa, I must say. Yeah. So I want to first of all start by telling us about your experience as a model. How did you even get started?
For me, it was more like, I would say luck, because modeling wasn't really what I really wanted to do. I wanted to do sports.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and so modeling came along the way, and I found it interesting at that time, but I've always been like somebody that was, I don't know how to explain, like I do like more of book, sport, and things like that. So I still had passion for all of that, all of those stuff.
So almost like very athletic and always out, you're the outdoorsy type of girl.
Yes, yes. So I was never fashionable. Like I was like terrible and things like that. Very terrible. So it took me a while to blend into the modeling world.
Were you scouted? Did someone scout you? Oh, wow.
I was scouted by a guy called Shola. He was a catwalk instructor in Lagos.
Okay.
And then he came to my school for a pageant. Called Miss Odua, you know, like it's a Miss Yoruba kind of pageant.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it was like I should do it. And afterwards, he started helping me in Lagos. And, I mean, for me, it was fun. And everywhere I went to, every casting I went to, I was getting picked.
Well, you were getting picked. Were you nervous at first? Like something you weren't used to?
I wasn't nervous. I was always, like, very bold right from time.
So personality-wise.
You know, and then they were always picking me. And I was like, oh, this is easy. I can really do this. And obviously, after that time, I took modeling, like, a little bit serious with school and things like that. So that was how I started modeling. And
how long did you have a modeling career for before you decided to move on?
I would say technically 3 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like super long.
Okay.
Because, you know, number one, my family didn't welcome it.
Okay.
So I had to sneak to do it, and I had school. So I would leave my school.
You had a lot on your plate. I come down.
I hope they're not watching. I'll leave my school, and then I'll run to do modeling in Lagos. And
wow.
So it wasn't super like...
So even though you were getting booked, because you were really, you know, really famous, you know, you were doing a lot of shows. So the experience for you overall wasn't necessarily because you weren't a working model, but more so because your plate was full and the family didn't really agree. And of course, distance, for, you know, the stress on you. And overall, what would you have said your experience as a model was at that time?
I had a fantastic time modeling.
Okay.
I did, because I mean, like I said, I was very lucky. I got jobs. I was always getting my castings right, and so I don't have like the bad. People have a lot of bad stories to say about modeling. Unfortunately, I don't have. Like I had a good time modeling.
Oh, wow, that's I
worked with fantastic people, fantastic team, fantastic agencies. So. I was good, but it was different from what they have international. But I had the best of Nigeria. You know?
That it had to offer.
You know, so yeah, so.
So speaking of international, we now know what Few Model Management has done, and obviously you left the modeling career. So how did you transition from becoming a model to now becoming a model manager and having an amazing platform for models?
It was very easy, and I would say because I'm extremely hardworking. I have to say that. And when I went to New York with my manager at that time, I just said to myself that I don't think I want to do this anymore. I've always liked management. I studied accounting in school, so I've always liked management and everything. And I told myself I don't know what I want to do, but I just know I don't want to do. Even when you send me to a shoot, I'm the kind of person that will go to the shoot and tell the new face, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this.
So you would say that you had more of an eye for observation, finding out what works, what doesn't work, as opposed to being in front of the camera and being the star. You wanted to kind of be behind and kind of manage what was going on.
Absolutely.
So that's where the idea came from. And then what made you decide to set up your own agency? Because you could have just moved abroad and become a model agent.
Yeah, I was going to do a model academy because I was like, models need to know the right thing. I need to tell them what is right and things like that. And so then I asked myself, after the academy, what happens? So then I came up with the whole thing of, let me start a scouting agency. Let me start scouting for these girls and sending them like to the international market, which I didn't find interesting. I was like, no, I don't want to do it, but I want to find the girls. Because
that's where the passion was
the opportunity. Yeah, so then I moved out of it and I just started the agency.
Oh, wow. So how long? The agency has actually, I think you said 3 years now. And in the 3 years you have, I mean, it has blown up. Tell us about the experience setting it up and one of your first girls that you discovered.
The experience setting it up, it was not easy at all. Like, it was very, very stressful, but I was very passionate about it. It was not profitable, I can say. Like, even till now, it's still like super not profitable. But I had the passion, I had support from a lot of people, so I didn't really I didn't really go down with the profit part. But the girls made it easy, and for me to I understood the kind of girls I was going for. I knew the girls I was going for. So there's a specific group, because I thought with modeling, sometimes, I mean, I discovered, I thought before you had to be very pretty or you had to be very awkward looking and what we like to say, interesting. You have to be interesting. So what is it that your agency, what type of girls do you look for to brand out? Are you looking for girls that you think work in this market or girls that you think would work in both markets or internationally? I look for the super interesting girls with super interesting features, amazing personalities. Basically, I scout more for the girls that would work internationally because that would I would say I have my clients there. So because the kind of models that Nigerians need, it's a little bit different. Like they want the curvy, they're a little bit pretty girls, and I mean, beauty is, you have to define beauty your way, you know? So, I mean, when I started the modeling agency, everybody started asking, your girls are awkward. They're very, tiny and, not even pretty. And I said, they are not pretty to you, but they are super pretty to me, you know?
Wow. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
They are super pretty to me. Like, they have, all these weird features. These are big eyeballs, full lips,
things that stand out and make them unique and beautiful. Unique.
And, I mean, I think right now the industry is even changing to that, everybody needs to be super interesting for you to be a model, you know? So that's what I was looking for, and that's how I got my girls.
Okay, so tell us about some of the models now that have gone on internationally and what they are doing in your agency, because I mean, I've kind of been following you now, and I mean, you have girls that are doing H&M campaigns, girls that are doing Zara campaigns, girls that are walking for the biggest shows in Milan and Paris.
Yes.
I think you've had girls, I think, was it Dolce & Go, fill us in. Let me not misquote and say one when it wasn't the other. So why don't you tell me? I'm so impressed.
Okay, thank you. So we had an amazing season this season. It was amazing. Like we had a girl work for. We had a girl she was the first Nigerian girl to make a debut for Prada. Wow, that's impressive. Yes, like super interesting. She did Prada. She did Versace. She did. She did Ferragamo. I mean, she did almost all the shows, really. In Milan or Paris? In Milan and Paris, because she started from Milan, because Prada was old enough, so she was not allowed to be in any show until after Prada. So that's why she started from Milan. And she did YSL, she did a lot of big shows. And then we had another girl, Ayobami, that did YSL, did Givenchy. So it's super
It's rewarding for you to
we
see
had
that you're actually
Ruth
able to help. Yes,
that did like amazing shows as well. She just did like Burberry campaign that's going to come out soon. Did Vogue that's coming out in May. So like they're doing amazing. The girls are actually like working every day. I think last week we had all of the girls in one day working in all like 5 countries. One day. 5 girls, 5 countries. It was so overwhelming.
So all of that's really amazing to hear. Did you scout all of these girls here in Nigeria? You scouted them and then you were able to take them abroad. So partnerships seem to work for you. I know you have a lot to do with IMG. Tell us, how did this come about? Because I'm really interested to know. So do you find the girl and then you say, you know, let me take your picture, and then you just send it to different agencies? Or I know you're working with IMG, so is it different, or are all of these through IMG? How does it work?
It's different. It's like with me and IMG is business. So like, how do I explain? It's business with me and IMG. So there are different way like in which we can work.
Okay.
So if I find a girl, I can choose to show to any agents that I want to.
So technically here in Africa, few model management acts as a model agent to discover new talent and girls, and then you just scout them to different agencies. But you remain the mother agent of them, and so it's more like on loan, apart from if they're signed with IMG. Yes. Okay.
So we just have a different partnership with IMG in Africa that we have to work to find the African girls and give. We have to. It's with me and IMG. It's like a role. Like I have to do it. So I can't sleep. I have to find the girls. So it's something that is rewarding. I mean, it's IMG, you know, they've really helped me develop properly in terms of, you know, when I don't know something, they tell me. When I have to do this, so it's been nice working with that kind of powerhouse.
Yes, and you're learning
very
as
new.
well.
So, yeah, it's been good.
So are you going to, have you had castings, or how does it work when you're trying to discover them? Do you have model scouts, or do you hold big casting? Because I know that a lot of times, sometimes there can be shows, and IMG also has their shows where they look for new talent. How does it work for you, for few models?
It's been casting, scouting. Right now we're on scouting tour. We've gone to almost everywhere, really. So we find these girls, like, sometimes we do the casting. 700 people, we won't find anybody.
Wow.
And then we just step out of the casting and we find one girl that is just about to leave the casting, maybe with a sister, and that's the girl.
Wow.
So we find the girls in a very weird way, but that's why the agencies, we're really, the number is really small. You know, we're like, I think maybe 20 or even less.
Okay, and so you just work with those 20 girls and really try to push them forward. So I know that you said a lot of girls have to be unique. You look for something really interesting. What would be some of those interesting features that you're looking for in the models? So that those of them listening that are saying,
I know,
let me find her and see if I have a good chance.
I usually don't like to say it. You know why? Then they start quoting me like, she said, if you don't have this, you can. But I just connect. I don't know. Like when they bring a girl, sometimes the girl enters the room and then my scouts are like, not this one.
So what would be not this one? I know for a fact, sometimes like in the US, sometimes they'll tell you, if your eyes are too far apart, you know, they'll say, you know, if your eyebrows are too close to, it won't work for a certain market. So for you, what do you look for? I know African features, we have big lips, like you said, big eyes. Like, what is it about? They go long necks, or, you know, do they have to be a certain height?
I would give an example, right? I would use an example, like Eniola, which was my girl that worked for Versace and everything. There's something with Eniola. When I found her and she did Fuse Next Face, my show, she wasn't ready. I knew it, but nobody connected with her at Fuse Next Face. I think I was the only person, and I understood why. I mean, she was very ridiculous. She had like the natural hair is not for every model. They have to realize that. She had the natural hair going on. She was very awkward looking. She was very tiny, like nothing, like even short. So when I told her to come to the agency, I said, and I knew something was right with the girl. I just don't know what. And then I told her, can you relax your hair and maybe like start doing stretches and maybe you'll be fine. And she did everything. And guess what? The moment she did that, I just knew this girl was going to be my it girl. Because her face, she has a very different Nigerian face. Her face is like a Chinese girl in a black skin. So it's very rare for you to find. You cannot find another Eniola in another maybe 2 years. So it gives her time to market properly before you find another girl that looks like her.
I can see that you're so passionate. I mean, I'm sitting here like, tell me more. Let me help you try to.
I mean, anybody, just bring them.
Just try to scout somebody. Has social media played any role in you finding girls at all? I know with the use of technology and Facebook and social media, and now we're having so much more access. It's easier to actually see people visibly. How has that had any impact in your brand or your agency?
I would say it's even taken away from the agency because now we don't have the time to go find the talent anymore. We like all sit down. People wake up and say I'm a scout, and I say how do you scout? And they just say I find out on Instagram. I mean, we find talent. I found Ayobami on Instagram.
Yes.
My talent now that is working like YSL and everything. I just scrolled through my explore page and I saw this girl, and I invited her to the agency, and she didn't want to come. Obviously, she's like, no, I'm not coming. And then later she came. And the moment I walked through the door and I saw her, I just knew this girl is not going anywhere. You know, there are some rare girls like that you're going to find through media, but media is not helping us because it's not giving us everybody wants to be a model. Yeah. So everybody is on Instagram tagging you. So it takes away from you finding the right girl that, you know.
Okay, so sometimes you spot that real talent.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's really great. No, we've talked about this. We're definitely, I mean, I love this conversation. And since we're all in the mood of fashion and modeling, and now that we know what we're looking for, we're going to head for a short break. And then definitely when we come back, we're going to now move it on to Arise. And Bolajo is not going anywhere. She's in the studio, so please stay tuned. Welcome back to Fashion and Beauty Talks on Arise. I'm Veronica Odeka. Still here with me is Bolajo, founder of Few Models Management. Thank you for staying and continuing this conversation with me.
I can go anywhere.
Yes, you're stuck with me. So I know we were talking all about your experience, how you got started, you know, what you've built, this platform, how amazing it is. And now we're shifting gears, you know. This weekend is Arise. It is about the most beautiful runway in Africa. Everyone's super excited. Everywhere is all abuzz. It's really great for us to showcase our own talent. And of course, there's some of your models that are taking place in the fashion shows that start today. Tell us about Runway Experience and why do you feel that this is really important that we have our own fashion shows here in Nigeria or in Africa?
I would say Runway Experience naturally for the girls. It's super interesting for the girls. They love it. They love it on the runway more than when they're shooting. Okay. You know, because we have some girls that are not runway girls. They want to be on the runway. For them, it's the moment. They want to live. Like, that's modeling for them. So you have to let them have that moment. And having like this kind of runway in Nigeria is helping like the girls grow properly. So when they go international, it's not new to them. They can understand certain things. So even if they're super new, they've done something major in their country.
That is true.
You know, so it gives them the natural confidence to just go into a place and do the right things when they're doing shows, you know, outside of the country. So it's super important that we have something like this here. I
like that. And do you know how many of your girls are going to be in the show, or which one? Do you have any of your top girls in the show? Because I know some of them are still international.
Yes, because they were not around, you know, like they're still not around. Majority of the girls that we have are not around, but we have like super amazing girls doing the show. We have OT, we have Benita, we have there's one of my very interesting girl that is doing the show that I'm trying to like pick her name right now, you know. Like they are all super interesting, which is I was so happy about the lineup of girls that I have. Modupe, she's one of the girls I have that I don't understand. Like I don't understand her as my manager. She's super good, you know, she's good. She's like a killer of everything you give her. So
you think this is definitely a good experience, this boost. It gives them that boost of confidence.
Absolutely.
Which is what Arise is all about, you know, the fashion and showcasing African talent. And, you know, what would be your advice that you would give a model that is going to be part of a show like this tonight, that's going to be this amazing on such an amazing platform? What can it do for a model's career?
I think this show can actually, like, it can be the start. If you're still super new, it's a great start of, you know, of a remarkable career. If you're going to have one, it's a great start. And for the girls that already have like a career, it's super rewarding for you to think that a show like this will still pick you. You know, I have a girl that is always like, anytime she's on the runway, she's a queen, Maheva. So for her to do this kind of show, it's just something about it.
You think it sometimes gives them like this check mark, like, you know, yes,
that's it.
If Arise is doing something and I'm part of this, then yes, you know, I've arrived with Arise. You know, as a model, I've done something for my platform.
So it's a super amazing platform for the girls.
You know, obviously you have taken part in castings before, and when we're doing something like this, you know, the most beautiful runway in Africa, it's a really strong platform. We have buyers coming in, we have scouting agents also coming in. If you're casting for something like this, what do you look for? What kind of model do you? Because it's completely different from just casting for your agency or casting for a commercial. What do you look for as a model scout being part of this casting for Arise?
If I was like a casting director for Arise, I think I would look for similar girls. And there's something that we also have to understand now. We can't be picking like super tall girls anymore.
Okay.
When a girl is already above 6 feet, it's already a problem.
Okay.
You know? So, I mean, I will look for like the girls like 5'9", 5'11", 6 feet. Like that. I will look for a super interesting girl, a girl that can bring the fire to the runway.
So strong walk.
For me, the best walk in Nigeria is for my girl, my Heva. I'm sorry, you know, like I'm just trying to be proud right now, be a proud agent.
You're having your moment.
You know, let me have my moment like in peace. She's just the girl for me that when she's on the runway, she walks anything. So when I'm looking for a girl, I want a girl that can walk well. This is not a shoot, this is a runway show.
Runway. So they have to be able to adapt to, what is some of the advice you give your girls, or you give models in general that are going for a show? What is the etiquette for them? How do they behave? You know, what is their culture, the walk? Being refined, is it really important? You know, share with us some of those things.
It's extremely important what the models do actually before the show, because the attention they pay to themselves is actually extremely important. They have to be clean. They have to smell well. My models, when they go for Fashion Week, they have like deodorants. We do it. We have their bags. Okay, so the models, it's really good for a model to have a model bag. Yes, and model agents should start investing in their models. These models don't have money. You know, they don't have. So we agents, we have to start investing in these girls. Our boys, or you know, everybody. We need to, like, when they're going for show, because they're going there to represent your brand and their name. So what if you invest all of this and they now leave you? You've given them, because your models, you give your models robes, you give your models slippers, you give your models bags, deodorant, you give them this model kit, you groom them, you train them, you do all of this, and then they just leave you. What happens? That's very...
Is that a risk you have to take as a model manager?
Yes, because at the end of everything, you can't really hold somebody that wants to leave. You know, if you want to leave, it's fine, you can go, but I have to do my part so that when you go, the time that you're under my management, you have to just represent my agency. I know I'm going to lose money when you leave, because guess what? You're not going to pay me back for my robe or my slippers, or maybe I'll collect it before you go. And, you know, but at that time that you're feel, you have to be feel, you know? So for me, it's important for the girls to smell. Designers complain. They give the girls even when I was a model, I fight designers because I don't like when people talk to everybody rudely. They're like, oh, you models, you smell. And I'm like, it's true. Models are smelling. You know, so now we have to figure out who are the ones smelling. So we just have to make sure that, well, pretty much what you're trying to say is that it's part of the etiquette. It's part of the etiquette of telling them what, because some girls don't know, like you just said, they're new, they have no idea, so just sharing with them. I think this is great. I really appreciate it. I know we're out of time and we have to go, but I really want to thank you, Bolajo, for coming here, sharing with us your whole experience and everything you're doing in the industry here in Nigeria, and how your platform is creating an opportunity for models across the world. All the best. We wish you all the best, and we can't wait to have you back on the show to tell us how they've gone further. Well, everyone who's tuned in, I'm gonna say that's all from Fashion and Beauty Talks today. Stay tuned for the rest of our programming on Arise News. Goodbye for now.